we are starting with our subject, mobile application development using Android. Okay, and in this class, in this session, all I'm going to try to do is to give you or introduction, a small introduction into Android application development. And please note this, I'm assuming as a general introduction first, then it will be a specific introduction to the syllabus itself. Okay, so I think in our class we don't require a actual big introduction to Android because almost all of you would have used it and are using it right now. Most of your phones would be run on Android. Okay, I think there might be some posh people with iOS and all, but still, those also would have used Android at some point of time. Okay, so it's not like a general introduction to you guys is required, but still, let me just go through the flow. All right, so what I'll be seeing through this slides would be the first one is introduction, and moving on is the features, and we'll see some of the API levels. I'll not go in depth of the API levels. Okay, architecture of Android, which is there in your syllabus, which I'll go through that. The building environment, which is required to develop Android applications, and this we will see as a practical session later in Android Studio. Okay, how does an Android Studio work? That I'll show it as live shortly. But in the presentation, I'll only give the theory introduction to it. Okay, some keywords which are required for you to understand, and then we'll see how a Android app works, and we'll move with that. Okay, so what is Android? This is a normal question which first I ask before I begin with the syllabus. Okay, what is Android according to you guys? Can you put it in the chat window? What do you mean by Android? What is Android according to you? All right, so you guys think that it is an operating system, but basically it is not just an operating system. Okay, it is a software stack for mobile devices that includes an operating system. Okay, please be very careful of the definition what I said. Android is not just an operating system, it's a stack of software which also includes an operating system. Okay, I hope you follow this. It also has something called middleware, and it also has key applications. All these three together is called as Android. Okay, it is a stack of software, not just one. When you say operating system, it becomes just one system software, but it is not that sake. Okay, Android is a stack of for mobile devices, which includes OS, a middleware, as well as key applications. Okay, it normally comes, I think most of you know what are key applications. When you buy the phone for the first time, okay, not a particular branded phone, but rather in general Android one, or if you take the one which has core Android in it, okay, you would find some key applications like SMS, call. Okay, these are all basic applications. You cannot uninstall them from your phone. Okay, they are very important. They are core applications. It includes an email client, an SMS program, a calendar, a map, a browser, contacts, dialing pad, etc. etc. Okay, these are also shipped along with Android. Okay, which is part of your operating system. Okay, what does SDK do? SDK provides the tools and APIs necessary to begin developing applications on the Android platform. Okay, this I am only focused on Java, so I use the word Java. Okay, but there are two languages in which you can develop core native Android applications. One is Java, the other one is Kotlin. Okay, please remember that, but I am going to focus only on Java. Okay, I'm going to ignore the fact that there is a language called Kotlin. Okay, small history about it. I think you guys already know this, but anyway, it was developed by actually Andy Rubin. That's the name Android. Okay, but anyway, Andy Rubin and Rich Miner, Nick Sears, and Chris White. These are four people who created Android. And please remember that Google did not create Android. Google just bought Android. Okay, they formed Android. These four people formed Android Incorporation in 2003. Okay, and Google took this in 2005. So 2005 onwards, Google's brand is there in all Android applications which you bring. Okay, but it basically belongs to them. Okay, it was a company which was bought by Google. All right, just like YouTube. Anyway, even though Google has proprietorship, ownership of the Android operating system, okay, it is not single or solely owned by Google. Okay, there is somebody called Open Handset Alliance, OHA. All right, I think I've put a list of companies, but these are not the one. There are more. I've just taken an image which says almost all. You can see the company names which I've put on the side. Okay, whatever company name you see, Lenovo, HP, Motorola, Sony, LG, okay, AT&T, Vodafone, whatever you see. Okay, all these companies, including Samsung, HTC, Ericsson, okay, Asus, all these people are part of the Open Handset Alliance. People keep getting added to that. Okay, there is a consortium of almost 47. In 2007 it is, okay, not now. Now it is increased to a bigger number. Okay, but there are 47 hardware, software and telecom companies. They all have to contribute. That's called the Open Handset Alliance. Okay, an alliance is that you are making a group of people who are ready to contribute. Okay, all these have contributed something or the other to the Android operating system what we have today. Okay, and they are there to advance open standards for mobile devices. Okay, why do I say about open standards? Why is that Open Handset Alliance? All these words are very important. Okay, just keep this in mind, guys. Competition to Android. Okay, there is actually, it is the sole player right now, but there is competition, little bit competition. Okay, with it was with two more tech giants, but now it is shrink down to one more. Okay, you guys would have known that there were three major operating systems and three different people who were competing. Okay, one was Windows. Microsoft owned Windows Phone. Okay, it was there, but now it is not that famous and they have stopped support also because the demand has totally gone down. Okay, so Windows Phone was there. Then you have Apple phones, iOS phones. Okay, Apple phones. Then you have Android phones. All right, you might have other operating systems, but they are like very minute, like point something. Okay, so we will not focus on BlackBerry and all those things. Even BlackBerry is now shifted to Android. That's a different thing. But anyway, when I say the three major players were Windows, Apple, and Android. Okay, so please think of this. Windows and iOS, Apple have hardware specific operating system. I hope you guys follow. For example, you cannot put the operating system which is there on an Apple phone on any other phone. Vice versa, you cannot put an operating system of Windows on any other phone. Okay, you might be doing tweaking and all those things, but it will not work perfectly. All right, so they were all specific to a particular hardware. All right, the iOS is to specific to Apple devices. The Windows phone, the Windows OS which you have is specific to Microsoft phones. Okay, but when it comes to Android, it's open standard. Why do I say open standard? You right now in your class, there might be a number of people who are using MI phones, Samsung phones, Asus phones, Motorola phones. Okay, you might Lenovo phones. You might use a lot of versions of phones. But please note the operating system which you are running on your phones is Android. It's open. Any company can take it up. We have Zolo, we have Micromax in India. Okay, they also use Android because that operating system is an Open Handset Alliance operating system. Okay, which means anybody who wants to, even now, if you wanted to start a company, a mobile application company, or sorry, mobile development company, I mean physical mobile, okay, not the apps. You can also develop, but you should be part of the Open Handset Alliance and contribute to them. Okay, when I say contribution, it doesn't mean money. Okay, I mean technical support. Okay, so when some issue comes in Android, all these companies will be there to support and help. Okay, they all will do that. But you also notice that everybody creates their own operating system from the core operating system which is given. Okay, if you buy Google Nexus, Google's phone, okay, they won't have any addition to the operating system which is given. It is core Android. Okay, but if you take up from some other, for example, if you take Samsung phone, if you take OnePlus, if you take MI, they have their own operating systems in that. Okay, but it is based on Android. You will see that whenever you turn on your phone, it is reminded to you that it is powered by Android. Okay, I hope you remember that. Most of you would have seen that screen also, right? So the goal of this OHA, Open Handset Alliance, is to develop open standards for mobile devices. That is why we have so many brands, but the same operating system called Android. And that is why we have many developers, and that is why it is a very important field to be in. Okay, you have a future in this field. I hope you follow what I'm saying. Okay, there are fields like, for example, desktop application development. Okay, web development. It was very famous in one point of time, but then as the number of users went down, it came down. But I guess you guys also will agree with me that mobile phone craziness and mobile phone addiction is never going to come down in the near future for us. Okay, just think about our own phones. Okay, how long can we be without that phone? All right, so how much are we attached to that phone? Not only us, okay, not just you or one person as a whole. Take the entire country as the world as well. Okay, you see that there is not a person who says that I can stay without this. Okay, it's becoming kind of like a basic necessity right now. Okay, so which means my target people are more. my target audience is more. Okay, and whenever you see that there is an app for a particular website, that website is a building, and it's a brand building opportunity also. When you have an app, oh, you have an app, that kind of a question comes, because we have that kind of regard to people who have applications. Please remember that. Okay, that is, you need to remember that Open Handset Alliance is truly the ones which make Android better, but it has come with the brand name of Google. So it belongs to Google, proprietorship, but then Google does not alone do everything in Android. It takes support from all these alliance companies also. Okay, remember this. As continuation of the history, when they released it first, okay, including with the Google's support, okay, when they released it first, okay, this is the first device, guys, the first ever phone which had official Android installed and sent it along. Okay, I had it, but I do not know where it is now. Okay, it was there. It looks like a small brick, a small piece of brick. Okay, it opens like this. You can type it in the keypad. It is also a touch screen. Okay, there is a mouse right below the menu button. Okay, you can move your screen. Okay, all these things are there. It was a typical phone, and it was with the help of HTC is what they put first. It's called Dream, HTC Dream G1. This is the first phone which has Android 1.0, and it was not given for public. It was given for developers. Okay, it was given free for developers, and some people bought it, took it for free, those who are licensed developers. Okay, and then they sold it on eBay, so others also got it. Okay, so and this was the only phone which was sent default rooted. I don't know how many of you understand what I said. There's your phone has some warranty. Okay, if you root your phone, warranty will not be there. Okay, when I say root, getting root access, you become the super admin of your phone. That is not possible in any phone by default when you buy it. Okay, this was the only phone which came by default rooted because it was meant to target developers only. Okay, so anyway, this is the first phone. Now, from the beginning, from the time when they started, there has been lot of versions coming in. Okay, I guess most of you already know and you're familiar with these words. Let's just quickly go through that. Okay, each version till the last one, not last one, two ones before had a name to it. Okay, had an alphabetical order name given to it. Okay, but now it is with numbers. Okay, please remember this. Till right now we have 10 and 11 and 12 and all. Okay, Android 10 was released. There was no name given to it. Okay, so earlier it was with alphabetical order. Now it is with numbers. Okay, so let's just look at a small diagram which shows all these things. Let us ignore the first two things. Apple pie, actually it was alpha beta. So we'll leave that. After that, we started with cupcake. Okay, that's the first which is officially or for marketing purposes. Okay, it was released as cupcake. Then you had donut. Then you had eclair. Then froyo. Then gingerbread, honeycomb, ice cream sandwich. I think that is the most famous one which you guys started buying phone. You would have got it with ice cream sandwich. Okay, honeycomb was not available on mobile phones. It was only for tabs. Okay, gingerbread was there on that phone which I showed you. The maximum the HTC Dream G1 can go was 2.3, which is gingerbread. Okay, above that it cannot go. And most of you would have old phones which will not be able to upgrade. It will not be able to upgrade. The maximum OS which is supported will be probably 4.0, which is ice cream sandwich. Okay, and then we had a jelly bean. Okay, then we had Kit Kat, then lollipop, then marshmallow, then nougat, then Oreo, then Android Pie. That's the last one with the sweet name it came. Okay, after that it became 10, 11, 12 is on the way. All right, but 10 and 11, please note there's no keyword given. It's Android 10, Android 11. Okay, maximum we can call it as a PQR. Okay, so P was the last one, so Android Q and Android R. That's all we call it, but there is no name given to it yet. Okay, but it is named, it's just put with numbers. So Android 10, Android 11. All right, these are the versions which we have. And now if you have a question saying that, is it important for me to know about these versions? Yes, to an extent, not everything. Not that the screen changed and the user interface changed, not that one. As a developer, there are certain things which change drastically after a particular version. Okay, we will see all those things when we start with the program, but please do remember the reason why I put version history is for your understanding first. Second thing is that it is not all the same. Okay, just because they change the name doesn't mean that they have just changed the interface and sent it to you. They have not put one new paint and send a new version. No, there is so many modifications done. We are not bothered about it because we only see the visible differences, right? Okay, whatever we can see, we see that there is a difference which is seen. Okay, so whatever you see that the multiple window is there, floating action bars are there. Okay, those things are new for you, and you can see split screen came. All these things are something which you see, but then in the background, a lot of things have been changed. All right, that for a developer is not so important right now, but as you go into in depth of targeting devices, okay, then you need to know what is the difference between one version and another version. I will give a little bit of overview, but remaining you should do it on your own. Okay, but remember the version history is also important. Currently we are in Android 11, and Android 12 is date is yet to be announced. It's not still, it's on the way. Okay, it's not been announced officially yet, but there is there Android 12. Okay, so these are the version history. Let me move on. Where and all are do you use Android? Okay, where and all is Android being used? Okay, first one, number one on that list would be smartphone. Okay, Android is used in majority of the times on a smartphone. It can be any company. Okay, a company name does not matter. As long as it is powered by Android, then it is working in a smartphone with Android. Okay, that's the first device, first and foremost device. Let me move on. Tablets. Obviously, second list will be with tablets. Okay, you have tabs available. It is available in almost all brands. Lenovo has, Samsung has, MI has, and you have different tabs. Some people call it as phablet. It's a phone which looks like a tablet, which is a big phone. Okay, you can also call it as phablet and all those things. All right, but still, tablet also uses Android. Set-top box. I think most of you right now are have shifted to it, but Airtel gives it, and I think Tata Sky. All these things are now changing their set-top box to smart ones. Okay, which means runs Android on it. Okay, so Portronics Linebox is the first one which came with Android on board. Set-top box had Android in it. Okay, which means probably Google TV. Okay, where TV meets web, web meets TV. Now it's not a big deal for us because most of us would already have come across Fire TV stick and MI TV stick. Like that, a lot of TV sticks are also available. A small pen drive kind of thing which has Android in it, which converts your TV, your regular TV, into a smart TV. That also is Android, guys. Remember that. Fire OS, Fire TV, what you see again is based on Android. Okay. Next, on your cars, some cars or most of the new model cars have the dashboard. Okay, in the dashboard, what you see is Google Maps. Okay, but it is not just Google Maps. You get a small dashboard which has touchscreen and which runs again on Android. It helps you to do navigation as well as surfing the internet or listening to music, whatever you want. Automotive also has Android inbuilt. Some of the cars are controlled by Android. Okay, the car also has an operating system. It's a smart car. Okay, it's also on in development. Not much are there. Okay, not within our budget. It will be there, but still, it is coming. Okay, it will be joining all the cars shortly. Microwave. Okay, some microwaves also. This is a sample microwave, which means microwave Android integrated device. It is called as MAID. Okay, this also runs on Android. Microwave device. Okay, not only this, guys. A lot of devices are there, but I'm just showing a few which we might already know. There is a Decor, okay, a company called Decor which also runs an oven which runs on Android, completely controlled through your mobile phone. No need to go near the oven at all. Okay, completely controlled. That is Decor, and I think this is something which is very common now. Digital camera, and nobody uses a digital camera, but still, in case you are using, even cameras have Android in them, which can be converted, or your regular phone can be converted to a DSLR camera by attaching something to it. Okay, all these things are also there with Android in picture. Smart watches. I think majority of you already possess one, but please hold on, guys. All right, I stopped here. I'll try to wind up as soon as possible. Okay, I think I can't go to the architecture, but at least the basics. All right. So, as I was saying, it is there in almost all your smart watches also. Android runs on your smallest device on your hand. Okay, it's a small device which runs. Okay, which also runs on Android. And portable media players are now gone. Okay, but there are still some people who use tabs only for watching videos and playing games and stuff. Okay, so portable media players also have Android in them. And think this is something which you guys already know. Refrigerator with Android installed in it. Okay, your smart fridges. Okay, almost everything is becoming smart. Okay, with just introducing Android into their circuit boards. Okay, so that also is there, which has a 8-inch LCD as well as Wi-Fi connectivity to the fridge, which can be controlled anywhere from the world. Okay, if in your phone. And also robots. Okay, Android is an operating system, so it can be also installed on a part of the it also has an operating system which runs on a physical device, right? So like an Android robot, okay, we can control it using an app on your phone. Okay, this entire robot also runs with Android in its core operating system. Okay, it can be programmed to do virtually anything. That's also there. Okay, these are the things which where Android is playing a role. I think it's not something which you guys do not know, but I'm just going through it as part of your syllabus. All right. So this thing is important. What are the features of Android? I think you already know about it, but technical words. I'm going to focus on only on the technical part. Reuse and replacement of components, not the physical hardware component. I'm not talking about the hardware at all. Okay, hardware depends on the manufacturer. Okay, your hardware, what and all features your phone has depends on the manufacturer. Like for example, if you have an OnePlus phone, if you have an iPhone, or if you have a Samsung phone, if you have a Windows phone, manufacturer of that particular phone decides what are the features to be given. I'm not here to talk about those features. I'm talking about the features of the software, the software stack, which is Android. Okay, it reuses. No, yes, yes, okay. Okay. All right, so it reuses and replaces components, which I will show you in Android Studio. And it has something called Dalvik Virtual Machine. I guess most of you already know about Java Virtual Machine. So I'll be introducing what is Dalvik Virtual Machine to you guys. All right, in the next class when we start Android Studio. Okay, probably this slide itself I have, but I think we'll do it in the next session. Okay, so there is already an integrated browser. It is optimized graphics because it is based on OpenGL. Okay, and it has SQLite inbuilt, just like Python you would have learned in the last semester. Okay, it has a huge media support out of the box. You need not install any special software to run any video or audio. It is by default installed. Okay, it has GSM as well as CDMA, but we do not have CDMAs anymore. Okay, mostly we have GSM telephony. All right, and it Android supports all these things, but again I'm repeating this, your manufacturer decides what and all features to give. You have phones which have only 3G support. We have phones only which has 2G support. Okay, but right now whatever phone comes which has Volt, okay, or voice over Wi-Fi, we have a lot of features added now. Okay, but depends on the manufacturer. But Android supports all those things. Okay, camera, GPS, compass, accelerometer. Again, repeating with the manufacturer decides the hardware components. Android supports all. Whether if your phone has compass, Android has a software to control that compass. If your phone has accelerometer, Android software has a feature to control your accelerometer, and etc. etc. Okay, that all depends on the hardware. What I have discussed here is the software support from Android to your hardware support. Okay, and it has a very rich development environment which we will be coming across, and we have to get familiarized with them. Okay, so I'll stop with this, guys. The architecture of Android I'll take in the next class.